are live from Arlington, Vermont. This is Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. And let's see. Earlier, my computer was not happy. It looks like I have possibly two Johns in here. Mr. John Knofel, or Nofel, who's got here at 6:30, and Mr. John Blanacki, which is, I'm assuming, on now. Okay, let's back over here. Yeah, what are the odds? Well, one of the things is that I did wind up seeing an interview with Artist Trains, and I happened to realize earlier last week that I didn't really enjoy Amherst this year. And after seeing the interview, I just happened to realize I was dog tired. These 50-hour work weeks, since this, the second weekend of the second week of December, I'm pretty much, it's like go to work, go home, sleep, eat, go back to sleep, go back to work, and I'm just running myself ragged, and that's not good. In fact, if I'm honest with myself, I'm really not liking doing live streams right now because I'm just so tired. But it's one of those things. I'm also trying to use this YouTube channel more as therapy of basically a routine, something to do that has nothing to do with work, which unfortunately I'm talking too much about. Yes, John, I'm actually starting to lean towards that. Maybe taking some time, taking some time off. It seems to be the thing for YouTubers to do this year, especially the ones that have been. There's been a bunch, that's like, oh, they've been doing the same thing for 10 years and all that. It's the greatest job, this, that, and etc. I want to say this YouTube channel has become more of a hobby than a job. That was the original intent. But then again, I was unemployed at the time. Now I'm employed. It is not as well, hello there, Dwight. It's not, since it's not my job, it's more of a hobby. So I mean, that's why I really haven't been on top of, basically been on top of, I need to do all the things to make it a successful YouTube channel. Mainly for the first time, I was doing my best, to do my job, do the new job and all that. And now, now because I'm trying to half train my new boss to do my job and all that. It's stressful on both of us. But he is slowly getting it. I want to say he was in the same position that I was last month, or in December, I should say. But he's slowly getting things, and I also found out that they find out they want me to work more this week. More, I think. Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's what a lot of bosses are today. Oh, their wigwag is that they want you to work more. You could be, you could be, you could be giving it 110%, but they want 111%. And then when you give them 111, they want 120. And it's sort of like that sort of constant, and they wonder why their employees are burned out. And yeah, it's, and I think it's the trend of trying to make employees just replaceable cogs. With the was it 6S, some of the other management things of basically making it so they want it so it's like they can take one person out, plug another person in, and with no downtime. And with a small company like what we have, doesn't work. And especially when the ones that are in charge don't want to acknowledge that they're part of the problem. I mean, I don't, it's one of those things. I don't really hate the ones in charge, but at the same time, it is frustrating when they won't even take, that they don't take responsibility for how they're messing things up. And the thing is that the owner in charge has fired people for suggesting that he is he's not the best one to be leading. There was one time that he his attitude is that this is a family business. My family comes first, yours comes second. And I'm like, okay. And he has fired people because they would put their family before theirs. And then there was also a time that he fired his own nephew for turning around and saying that you should let somebody else run the company because you're running it poorly. And this was at a meeting, because people were getting frustrated with him making decisions that made things worse, and he was let go. It's like, this is my company. You do not tell me that. And which is unfortunate. The thing is that my new boss is thinking there's a good chance that he's going to get fired for not trying to get everything out on time. And that's another new thing. It was before it was not the highest thing of having everything to be done. Anything that went on the dock had to go out today. And I happen to realize that's what got my last supervisor fired, because there was something that had to go out that day, and he's like, I can't. And there's other issues and all that, which I don't know all that, but it was basically the owner wants something to go out today because I think he got the call, and sort of this okay, this needs to go out today, and everyone's going okay, it's like, but it is one of those things of just because you want it to, just because you want X to happen, unless you're God, X ain't going to happen, because there's not only physics, but also there's the damn paperwork. I mean, it seems that he wants to have it when something comes down onto the dock, basically roll it right into the truck to go. And it's like, that's not, even in a perfect world, that doesn't happen because, well, there's paperwork to be done. You get rid of the, maybe if you got rid of the paperwork, but it's like things that are like going international, that's not going to work because every country wants its paperwork. But basically turn around and just keep on swinging. There was one day that I was not feeling well, and I told him, I'm just not feeling well today. He's like, he sort of let off a little bit on that day, but he still wants that everything has to go. But it's one of those things of thing is, I don't want to burn bridges. It's one of those things, if I do come across something that definitely pays a lot more, which should not be hard because this company does have a tendency to do the things that you're not supposed to do, like hire new people at higher wages. And yet the ones that have been there for decades and all that, get the shaft constantly. So I don't plan on retiring there. But at the same time, most of the people are pretty good and all that. And, my new boss, I don't want to, basically throw him under the bus, but I've already done that, not intentionally by getting COVID. Excuse me, the second week I was there, or when he was there. So, but it's time to actually do something that I'd rather be doing, which is unfortunately I can't make a job doing this. And that's making models. So let's switch cameras so we can start making models, changing cameras. All right. All right, now to change cameras. Everything's wiggly wobbly for a second. Okay, and we are back. Excuse me. We are back onto the covered bridge. All right. Now I got to figure out which ones to grab. All right. Now to remember where I'm at. Right now, where I'm at is staining. We're staining the ties. What I'm using is different weathering mixes from Hunter Line, which is also the manufacturer of the bridge kit. Now the bridge kit that I've got is the one for the Queen Post covered bridge, because my plan is to do a covered truss bridge. And when asked about it, Rick from Hunter Line suggested that I just buy the Queen Post bridge and use that, and which normally I would say would be a good idea. But I would have to say some of the, you do actually need more 8x12s. I do not have 8x12s. but I do have 8x8s. So the plan is to, for the main stringers, basically for the cords, which are supposed to be 8x12, turn around and using the two 8x8s together. Now the thing is that there's a good chance that these are going to be covered, so you're not going to see them. So it doesn't matter if it's set up that way. Let's see, what was the other? Yeah, because the thing is that we're trying to do two of these. I think I have enough for two, but there's another spot where we're supposed to have another spot where we needed, I think I needed more for some reason for the 8x12s. And I forgot exactly what it was for. Let's see, 8x12s, 8x12s, 8x12s. Yeah, quantity 2. For some reason, I think I needed more than 2. Which I'm not quite sure why. I grabbed them anyway. Maybe it's on this one. All right. I happen to remember why. Because with this, there's only enough. There's only enough for one. So the idea is maybe use one for this, and then use the these two for that one, because these have the diagonal braces, which the cover bridge does not have. All right. Can I order more? Probably. But the thing is, I was just trying to, get things done quicker and not having to wait for a single piece of basswood to get here. Probably, if I was smart enough, I probably can go and go to the relatively local hobby shops. I know, I want to say 3 of them have extra wood to buy and all that, but at the same time, I think these are going to be hidden. So let's see. Yeah, one side might be a little bit thicker than the other one, but everything is going to wind up being hidden. So that's why I went with this direction instead of the doing it separately. One of the interesting things is that the way the kit, the regular queen post bridge is set up, is that you got the 16-foot clearance and then you got 14-foot clearance. Now the 14-foot clearance is sold as the narrow gauge. Interestingly enough, though, the quote narrow gauge is actually prototypical for standard gauge. So, and the 16-foot clearance, which is NMRA standard gauge, winds up actually being wide enough for broad gauge. So that was an interesting thing to find out, because originally I was going to, I'll just build this bridge and all that, and it's going to be if it didn't have this showing this option and all that, I would have never would have realized that. All right, so okay, that's gonna go there. These are gonna need to be stained. Let me grab this so I can figure out which ones are going to be need to be stained, which ones are not. Obviously, the ties need to be stained because they're going to be exposed. Stringers. Which ones are stringers? Stringers are 8x14, 8x14, 6x10. Where do I put the 8x14s? Yeah, there's some things I'm going to wind up having extras for, like these roof shakes and the roof itself, because we're not using that. All right, 8x16. 3x6, 1x12, 1x6, 3x16, 8. Am I reading that right? 6x14. Or 8x14. All right, we got that. The M shins are 8x8. That would be that one. 8x12s. Well, 8x12s might be, they're going to be hidden, so never mind on that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to be, let's see, do we do 6x6? It's 6x6. Yeah, the interesting is they have it set up as the difference between the building and the bridge. Since we're not technically doing the bridging part, we'll sort of kind of ignore that for now. Let's see, we got 6x6, which is the cross brace. Cross brace is, yep, that's going to be hidden, so we don't need to do that. We'll put that up over here. 6x10, which is basically the main truss portion of it, so we're not doing that. Let's see. Ooh, I realized something. I might need might need to have more 6x10s, because that's the diagonal brace that I don't have for that. 6x10, 6x10. Well, there's a lot of. Oh, wait a second. No, there's not. I thought there was a lot more 6x10. So I might have to find more 6x10. Probably can get away with something else that's not close to 6x10, because it will be hidden. So don't need the rod. Let's see, top towards. Sorry about this. I should have. Actually, I had this all planned before, but now I have to remember exactly what I wound up doing. 8x8 end shims. Yeah, probably should do that. So we got these three. Now, do we need the 8x12s? No, because that's going to be hidden. Brace. Ties are 8x8. Inchins. Interesting. They show this part, which is is that underneath or on top? 6x10. That looks like it's underneath. is it? 6x12. Or 6x10, I should say. 6x10. That's over here. All right, and the 6x6 is the cross bracing. Okay, so that's the up and down. All right, so we don't need that. So the ones that we need to be stained would be these. And it's one of those things of trying to remember which ones are which. All right, these are not as hidden. So we could probably do these as creosote black. 8x8s. Actually, maybe everything but the ties. Ties will be random colors, but I think we should do the rest of it with driftwood. So let me grab some brushes. All right, yeah, it's a little overkill. It's underkill. It should work. Basically, there's either a 2-inch brush or one of the micro brushes, and that's like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. All right, now for an important detail, which would be wax paper. I grabbed that earlier today specifically for this. And where did I put it? Yeah, that's another thing, is that being so tired and exhausted, I'm not preparing myself very well. All right. Ooh, homemade chili and biscuits. Thanks, Red Lars, for making me hungry. Aha. I put it in a spot that if it was a snake, it would have bit me. But basically, putting wax paper down to keep the stain from staining stuff that shouldn't be stained. Put things aside. Oh, okay then. These particular paper cups are not they're not hunter line friendly, so that's going to wind up leaving a stain on the mat. Oh well, it's a sign of actually using stuff instead of just having everything all nice and clean. I'm starting to assume that some of the YouTubers out there, it seems that every time you turn around, it's like their cutting mats are spotless, Either they're very good at keeping things spotless, or they're replacing them every single time, which that's wasteful in my opinion. All right. These things leaking. All right. These are not useful. All right. Let me grab something that doesn't leak. So I wound up buying these at the dollar store. So let me grab the other things that I bought at the dollar store. Which I wasn't planning on finding them. Where, oh where? Sorry about this. I had well, I wasn't expecting to redo bottles, or redo, they're not bottles, they're cups. All right. All right. Well, I found some of the older cups that I was using, which means I got to figure out which ones are the right color. That looks like driftwood. That looks like blue gray. This one might be clear solid black. So that means I do not know where the thing for green, rail brown went. Alright. And I don't know where the clean cups are. So we're gonna have to be a little, spending way too much time looking for stuff. All right, we'll use the it's like this was, I think this is more designed for watercolors, I guess. I mean, these are paper. Good thing I didn't use them for. All right, that should hopefully, since there's no more liquid in them, sort of add as a something where it won't wind up staining more stuff. Yeah. Basically keep these off the things to keep things from staining everything. hopefully they'll get them so they will stain what I want them to stain. All right. And of course, paper towels. Nah, haven't been able to find them. That's the paper ones in the trash. That's what. Yeah, I've used the Jello shot cups also, especially when I'm doing something like really really small. But right now they're not within arm's reach. And it looks like I might have to turn around and actually add more. But these plastic ones I've recently picked up and all that, and said, hey, this is the way to go and all that, and learned that nope, that's not the way to go. All right. So Ty Brown, I don't have a cup for, and I don't know where they are offhand. So hopefully this is not gonna, looks like it's not soaking through yet. But all right, time to get staining stuff. And one of the things they do suggest is sort of, cut them to size, then stain. But right now, not quite in the mood for that. So, actually, I'm going to need 4. I'm going to need 4, 4 pens, or 4 brushes. Let's see, got that. Ooh, all right, that'll work. One more to go. Yep, that'll work. All right, we have brushes. And I'll try to keep the brushes for each individual one. All right, that, and that. All right, so we're going to do driftwood on everything but the ties. Ties are going to be a little bit more random. But we'll do everything else in driftwood. In that case, then we'll switch them around. Of course, probably after putting everything together, might have to turn around and reapply. So it's probably smarter to do everything all mostly in one coat. All right, got the end. Yeah, the thing is, once you wind up cutting into the size, you'll have to turn around and reapply the stain. And my left hand is going to get stained like anything. Probably should wear a glove so it won't get stained, but at this point, I'm not caring. better than the. I would have to say it's better than using this stain because that would get some real odd looks. Different color of different brown stains and all that will just make it look like a just playing with a car engine or something. All right, that's going to go back in there. And that is done. Do the 6x10s, which again are relatively easy. And one thing about Hunterline is that they do have a tendency to dry quickly, but being alcohol based, they also smell like alcohol. So it is one of those things of, I guess they're technically don't light it, don't have around open flame and stuff like that. That's one of those things that's the advantage of alcohol-based stains is that they are quicker to dry. You don't have to wait for them to dry too much. And I want to say the driftwood looks like, driftwood. Oh, how you doing, Chesco? Thank you for coming in. Right now, doing the ever so exciting staining of the wood parts. All right, let's flip this over. All right, 6x10s are done. Now, it might take a little bit longer to dry by putting them back in the bags that they came in. However, I also look at it this way: is that everything's already labeled and don't have to worry about misplacing them. I do believe Rick also recommends of cutting and shaping one style of wood at a time, and then putting them back into the bags and all that. So it's a lot easier to keep track of. Now for the long pieces. And actually probably grab 3 at a time. Well, one question I have for people is that were they able to make it to Amherst? I know a bunch of you are nowhere near the Northeast. And I think Timodium, I think, is this week, which is too far for me. Well, Chesco, I would think that is probably a good way of doing it. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because, well, right now I'm a little tired from work, and so my thought processes, I can't even talk straight. My thought process is probably not running at 100% efficient. That would probably be a smart idea to start using the stirring sticks and go in that direction, but I'm not thinking that far ahead. Probably one smart thing to do with this style of setup is get a big straw and close off one end, and so you can turn around and just dip the whole thing in there, cover everything in one shot, and holding them with maybe holding it with a I can't think what they're called. I'm thinking roach clip, but that's not the term I'm thinking. That's not the term I want to use. It's usually the clips that are usually used on third hands. Just dip it in, let it soak for a little bit, and then pull it out. Get one of the jumbo straws so you can actually fit in all your lumber sizes. I think that should work all the way up to S scale. Or maybe, yeah. O scale might be hitting it a little bit too close to the size of the straw, especially when you get to the larger stuff. And I would also dip them one at a time, because if you put them side by side, they might not, there's no space in between them. They might not get any stain on the sides that are touching. But this technique also winds up padding out the video, because I'm not really in the mood to start assembling stuff, even though this would probably be dried by the end I get everything done. And also, I probably should cut everything to length, because when we cut it to length now, we still have to touch up the ends, because they would be unstained. But one thing I'm planning on doing with the ties is just breaking them up a little bit and then putting them in there since I'm aiming for more randomized colors, turn around and sort of put them in between, dip them in the different cups. And the thing is, they're also, since they are small, they will be able to fit into the cups better. It probably would fit better in the paper cups if they didn't leak. But yeah, there's probably quicker ways of doing this instead of painting them by hand. But as I said earlier, I'm just not thinking all the way through. All right. Well, Dan, you can be that guy. Basically, I'm using a Hunterline weathering mix to stain a. Well, the kit itself is a Hunterline Queen Post covered bridge. However, I'm kit bashing it into what's called a covered truss bridge, where they own where a regular covered bridge covers the entire bridge to sort of protect it from the elements. A covered truss bridge only does the trusses, so it's a cheaper alternative to a full covered bridge. However, the cover, whereas if I remember hearing somewhere, I could be wrong on this, but a covered bridge lasts 10 years longer than an uncovered bridge. And from my understanding, a covered truss bridge is sort of like in between. It's cheaper to build because you're not using as much wood, I think. Although you do wind up using a lot of wood, it winds up being I guess not as economical as just doing a full bridge, covering the whole bridge, because there's not as many covered truss bridges as they are full covered bridges. In fact, I want to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's about 6 that are I want to say within a 15-mile radius. There's actually one covered bridge called the Chiselville Bridge. Is, I want to say, maybe a mile away from my apartment. And the ones around here are usually all the single lane bridges. But there are some that are. I haven't seen the one yet, but there's like one that's on the Connecticut River, which, from my understanding, is the longest one that's still in existence, and that's a 2-lane bridge, or as they professionally are known as double barrel bridges, because they got the between the lanes they got another set of trusses, so it looks like it's it looks like two bridges next to each other. All right, so put that there. And interesting enough, I was reading a book of, it's one of those postcard books where they show, it's basically a bunch of vintage postcards, and it has ones with the postcards of Vermont, basically, of covered bridges. And they do have examples in there, not many, I want to say there's like 4 examples of the covered truss bridge, and one of them is actually, I think, technically would be 5 miles from me, maybe even less. It's Benedict's Crossing, which currently, from what I can tell, is in the process of being rebuilt, I guess. It has been closed off. I went the wrong direction with this. I should have went this direction. It's one of those things that, someone, unfortunately, the clerk's office is only open while I am at work. So I can't really, say, I have a suggestion. Add one more, basically add one more tourist attraction. Because there's not that many covered truss bridges around. All right, this is not going out as fast as I thought it would be. There we go. Now we're getting bunches of stuff. And this, the other interesting thing is I'm not staining everything, mainly because most of the quote the trusses of the bridge are going to be covered, so there's no use to stain them. But I guess Sidetrack Sunday has hit their 200th show last Sunday. So it'll be 201 on the Schuylkill Valley Railroad setup. All right, let's see. Grab a bunch of those. Grab a bunch of these. Split this in half. I'm not aiming for an exact. Not an exact or even numbers of stuff. All right, so should be able to switch this around and all that. Get that all nice and colorized. This is creosote black. This is Thai brown, driftwood, and blue gray. Let's see. Yeah, the paper cups was more advantageous to doing the ties. Unfortunately, because the paper cups don't really like alcohol-based stain, they leaked all over the place. All right, let's see if I can. Think. Let's see. Is this the right one? No, that's not the right one. All right. All right. Looks like I got to sort of flip the pens out or flip the brushes out. See if I can flip them out without spilling. Oh, getting there. Last one. Ta-da. All right, let's separate these so they can dry better. All right. Separate them this way. Da-da-da. It's interesting that this one didn't turn blue. All the other ones did. Huh. All right. Same thing with. Same thing with these, but we can use the brush because brushes are already there. Gotta dry it off anyway, so. All right. That is done. Ooh, I just happened to look at the clock, and the clock is telling me I should have stopped 5 minutes ago. So I guess I'll grab the rest of these off and separate them off screen. And time to switch over cameras. Okay, John, thank you for coming in. Alright. Watch the camera bounces. Okay, now switch over here. All right, here we are. All right, well, it looks like it took a little bit longer than expected, but sorry for getting a little, that I'm a little bit discombobulated because, well, I'm tired. I might actually contemplate and do what a lot of YouTubers do and take a month off or so. I'm not sure, but I definitely know that I believe the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye, everyone.